Emlai Habashim Yashai Bashim, Makakodash, the bonds to the Apostle Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the Lord's elect. And I just want to touch on this chapter here, Lamentations 4th chapter, and just go into it real quick through the Spirit. Because we are in the last days, and our people need to wake up to this truth sooner rather than later, because all hell is really about to break loose. So it says, Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 1, it says, "How has the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out on the top of every street." And that's talking about our people. We're the gold. But now we'll become dim. When you first buy a piece of gold, right? Especially if it's good quality gold, it'll be very shiny. Very shiny, and it'll last. Gold itself will last forever. But a lot of these gold pieces, what happens with the gold pieces is that they're infused with metal alloys that allow it to become a chain, so it's drenched in gold. The gold will last, 20, 30 years, whatever. But eventually it'll start to become dim if it's not treated properly. So in this scenario, we're the gold and we become dim. So it says, "The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitches, the works of the hands of the potter? Even the sea monsters draw out the breasts, and they give suck to their young ones. The daughters of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches of the wilderness." And the black woman is become cruel, to her offspring. She's not even sweet no more. That's part of the curses, Deuteronomy 28th chapter. All right, so that's part of the curses upon our people, that our women will become as men, and our men as women. So it says, "The tongue of the suckling child cleaveth to the roof of the mouth for thirst. The young children ask for bread, and no man breaketh it unto them. They that did feed delicately are desolate in the streets, and they that are brought up in scarlet embrace dunghills. For the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sins of Sodom, that was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed on her." Right? So because Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed in quick succession, but America, Babylon the Great, is Salakia. America's gonna be destroyed by nuclear fires as well. But actually, the punishment of our people has been prolonged. All right, it's better to just be destroyed quickly than to have to suffer what we've suffered. So that's what it's saying. Salaki, it says, verse 7, "Her Nazarites were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. Their polishing was of sapphire. Their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered and is become like a stick. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. The hands of the pitiful woman have sown down their children, and they were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. The Lord hath accomplished his fury. He hath poured out his fierce anger, and hath kindled a fire in Zion, and hath devoured the foundations thereof. The kings of the earth and all the inhabitants of the world would not have believed that the adversary and the enemy should have entered into the gates of Jerusalem. But what did the Lord do? He accomplished his fury. So the other nations, they understood that the Lord was not with us. So that's why he was able to overpower us and put us in captivity, because the Lord was angry with our people. So it says, "For the sins of her prophets and the iniquities of her priests, they have shed the blood of the just in the midst of her. They have wandered as blind men in the streets. They have polluted themselves with blood, so that men could not touch their garments. They cried unto them, Depart ye, it is unclean, depart, touch not. When they fled away and wandered, they said among the heathen, They shall no more sojourn there." Yeah, so our people have polluted themselves, and become blind, because the Lord has hidden himself from our people. So that's why you see the people in the state that they're in right now. So it says, "As for our eyes," so like in verse 16, "the anger of the Lord hath divided them, he will no more regard them. They respected not the persons of the priests, they favor not the elders. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching we have watched for a nation that could not save us." Yeah, you waiting for the so-called white man to save you, to bring about a jab, or to bring about, a new jobs, economic stimulation. You're looking for that, while the so-called man is really your enemy. Sirach 12:10 said, never trust thy enemy, for his iron wrestles so his wickedness. Right? So it says, verse 17, as for our eyes yet failed for vain help, and our watching we have watched for a nation that cannot save us. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven, and that we know that the symbol, one of the symbols for the Edomites are the eagles. So they're the main persecutors. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. Go to Revelation 12th chapter. You can read about the persecution of the saints. Matter of fact, if I get a chance, I might go over there. So it says, the breath of our nostrils, the anointing of the Lord, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow shall we live among the heathen. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. Right? As Isaiah 47 chapter said, what? The Lord does not meet thee as a man. Right? So it says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. So right now you're being discovered for the damn devil. That's you are. And then he's going to visit you for all your iniquities, man. Because, like I said, Revelation 12th chapter says what? That he persecuted us, the woman. Revelation 12:1 says, there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon at her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered there. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third parts of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to deliver her child as soon as it was born, for to devour her child. The woman with the 12 stars on her feet, talking about the nation of Israel, and that child is speaking of Yahushua, the Messiah, right? And she brought forth a man child who was to rule nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto the Most High into his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had the place prepared of the Most High, that she should feed her there 2,203 score days. And there was a war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon and his angels, and prevailed not, and neither was there place found any more in heaven. And the great red dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. And he was cast out into the earth, and his angel was cast out with him. All right, so this devil has always had a hatred towards our people, right? This devil has always been persecuting our people. All right, so that's why I read that again in Lamentations, the 4th chapter. Lamentations 4 and 18 says, they hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near, and our days are yet fulfilled. Our end is come. And Esau actually said that. It said, the days of my father are at hand, right? And I will seek to slay my brother Jacob, right? Genesis 27 and 41 says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing. Well, if his father blessed him, and Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning of my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. You see? So Esau just, it's always in his spirit to hate us, you know. That's why he's known as the adversary, you know, Diablos, you know. So Revelation 12, where was I at? Verse 10, it says, and I heard a loud voice in heaven. It says, now comes salvation and strength in the kingdom of our God, and the power of his anointed, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. Therefore rejoice, ye heaven, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So this is why this devil is cracking down on our people, because he knows he has a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast onto the earth, he persecuted the woman, which brought forth the man child. And a woman, and this devil is actual man, not the spiritual demon Satan. All right, and to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might flee into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. All right, over here in America, right? And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood, and after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of the Most High, and have the testimony of Yahushua, which is what? The spirit of prophecy. So you can read that in Revelation 19:10. So, this devil's always been on a constant persecution of our people, setting up false pastors, trying to destroy the image of our Lord and His Son, teaching false doctrines. Now he's injecting us with poisons and shit. Well, he's been doing that but the point is that they hunt our steps, man. That's why matter of fact, I gotta go over there. I know if I go to Blacklisted News, I'm gonna see some type of shit where they're coming after us. Okay, I'm gonna just look. Okay. Here's one right here. I'm not gonna read it because obviously, anytime I bring up anything, they block my page. But you can see what it says on the screen. Okay, implantable charagma stores your status. That's persecution right there. That's prophecy. White House tells unjabbed Americans to prepare to die. You're looking at a winter of severe illness and death. Persecution, more persecution. More hell. So yeah, man, I just want to touch on that real quick through the spirit of Yahweh, Yahushai. Low wellness, edifying. I want to say, call Halayim Lai, Habashim Yashai, Bashim Kakodesh. And I'll be on to the next one. Shalom.